Yo, what is up, you guys? I'm DeAndre.
I'm Javante.
And this is Dre and Jay. And today we're going to be doing a movie review on Marvel Studios' Eternals. So we got a chance to watch it last night. And we're going to share our thoughts. Now, the first couple minutes, we'll probably go non-spoilers. And then after that, we'll do a full spoiler talk. Okay. So starting off, I just want to say, I don't think that Eternals should get as much hate as it's been getting, especially with Rotten Tomatoes score. I know right now I think it's like 49 or 48, which is one of the lowest for MCU movies. I think the lowest by a wide margin. So, and I know like a lot of it was due to the fact of them with the whole LGBTQ inclusion and
because you got push away. You can't watch it in certain countries because of that.
Which I it wasn't even that much that was in the movie, in my opinion. Even the fucking set scene I didn't think was too much, which we'll talk about that later. But I didn't think that was too much either. And there were people who were saying like it doesn't feel like an MCU movie. I didn't feel that way. I felt like an MCU movie to me. It had its MCU humor, although I actually liked it for this movie because it wasn't too much. With the humor, like it wasn't like they were actually trying. It was just more of it just happened. It just happened to be funny, with whether it was a character or just something that happened. It just was randomly funny. It wasn't forced comedy. Yeah. You had your big CGI battle at the end, which it has similar MCU style. As far as the cast and the characters, I actually enjoyed all of them. I thought they were really good in their roles. I think Kumail Nanjiani, the Indian guy, I think he was probably one of my favorites. Gemma Chan.
Hey man, his video.
The guy who
I forgot his name.
Yeah, but
he was tight too.
He was funny as well. Yeah, those were probably the highlights for sure. Anytime they were on the screen, Gemma Chan. She a baddie, bro.
Kit Harington was cool too on screen.
Yeah,
he was on screen a lot.
He had a very small role, but yeah.
But when he was on screen, you knew he was there. He had some funny moments as well and stuff like that. And it was cool seeing Kit Harington back on the screen. We ain't seen him really since Game of Thrones. I don't think he's done too much else.
Yeah, I don't think he
has
either.
Big projects like this. So seeing him a little bit on screen was kind of dope. Seeing him and Richard Madden had that interaction a little bit.
Yeah, when they first walked up to each other, I was like,
it was tight.
I was like, if you're a Game of Thrones fan, you're like, okay, the Stark boys are reunited. How Stark?
Yeah, it was tight. As far as I think for me, I think this film really doesn't. I think it's different than an MCU film. I disagree with DeAndre on that take. He said it feels like an MCU film. I feel like it doesn't feel like an MCU film. It feels like something different. In a good way though. Storytelling wise, even this has more like a different kind of mythos to it, like mythology to it. Cause we're not dealing with like our current type of like MCU. We're not getting what we had in the MCU like so far up to this point. It's very much a different it's more like a history lesson. I would say than like an MCU film.
Well, but you could say that about a lot of it. That's how pretty much all MCU films are nowadays. Like the newer ones, because Shang-Chi, if that's the case, because Shang-Chi is kind of dealing with its own new thing as well.
No, but this goes through like a lot of like. I'm not saying it's not an MCU film. It's an MCU film, but it doesn't feel like it. It just feel like its own thing. Like it felt like something. This could feel like a Prometheus in a way or something like that. This feels like kind of like a Ridley Scott type of Alien Prometheus type movie.
I get that.
Which cool. I'm not mad, but I think the movie's still good. I like the movie. I don't feel like it's like it's not your typical sugarcoat ABCD equals E type MCU film.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's different. But that's cool with me. It was dope. I like the character. I feel like I cared more about the characters than I thought I would. Coming into it, I did say I thought some of the characters would die. And I thought we won't really care about maybe Angelina Jolie's character, Richard Madden, Gemma Chan, and I think that's about it. That's all I think maybe that was it. I think that's the only character I really thought I would care for. But watching it, I cared for all 10 characters. I think all 10 characters had a nice chance to shine in different moments. Some more than others, of course, because we have our star cast with Richard Madden, Gemma Chan, Angelina Jolie, and those. But I thought everybody had a moment to show who their powers and to give like their own like even like the Asian guy. I can't think of his name right now. The one that plays what's his name?
Gilgamesh.
Gilgamesh, yeah, Gilgamesh. I believe he had moments to have like humor and show his personality a little bit. I thought that was dope that they were able to do that for all those characters. This movie is a long movie. It's 2 hours and 30 minutes. It feels. I enjoyed the whole thing. I wasn't mad about it, but it does feel long.
It definitely has some of its kind of slow moments every now and then within the movie. It kind of, it has its slow moments, and then somehow, they'll be like, oh, okay, all right, we gotta get the audience back in it, so we'll add some.
But it has to do a lot. It has to do a lot of slow storytelling because it has to explain so much because it's trying to take you back to BC time.
Yeah, like it's telling a story from multiple different places in time with.
Yeah, to show how they got to the point they're at right now and how these characters have evolved throughout the years or throughout the centuries of being on this planet, and like with the people and how they are as their own individuals and stuff like that. So I thought that was dope. It worked. The transitions between the current day and the BC. I thought that was okay. I didn't mind that, like how they went back in time and like show like a moment in history, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Depending on the characters, stuff like that. And I thought there was another thing I really enjoyed about this film is there's really not a villain. I don't feel like you have a villain in this film. You know what I mean? I thought that was interesting because I thought it was a different take. It's different. It's unique because you can look at every character. Even you want to look at the guys that they like I guess the villains technically. You can look at them and say like, okay, I see why they are the way they are. And I think that's good. I think the MCU's gotten real good at doing that nowadays, where they have characters now. Their characters aren't black and white. It's not like, oh, I just want to take over the world. I'm a bad guy. It's not like that no more. Like MCU has really done a good job lately. Ever since probably. Maybe Killmonger, I think, or maybe before there's something also. I just can't think. Maybe Killmonger, I think, probably was the first. Mm-hmm. Where you look at the characters and like, okay, I can see why his motivation is what his motivation is. Maybe he's handling it the wrong way, but I see why he's doing what he's doing. And I thought that same way about some of the characters in this film and our villains in this film.
I disagree with you on that. I personally, I get the fact that like it's okay not to have a villain in this type of film. It's just because of how the movie was setting itself up, especially with some things that were going on in the movie. I mean, with one of the deviants, I mean, the one that, in the trailer that was over here all holding Angelina Jolie hostage. You would expect more from characters like that or the Celestials. And obviously, this movie, it's more of these characters. You can't really have a villain when these characters are still trying to find themselves and where they are in this galaxy and what they're trying to do, because everything that they were taught or told, they find out in this movie is kind of a lie within itself. Like there's more to it. There's more context to it. So I guess in a way, in that sense, yeah, you don't really need a villain. You don't need a villain, but at the same time, like how the movie was, and especially with including the deviant, I don't know. That was kind of a letdown in a way.
I feel you. I disagree with that. We'll talk more about that when we talk spoilers, though. But besides that, visually, this film looks amazing. I thought it looked really good. Shout out to the director. Also, I think this movie has a lot of like biblical implications to it.
Okay.
Like the angels that have fallen like become like the devils. You know what I mean? If the angels that have fallen, so like to become like the devils helpers and stuff like that. I thought that had like because of deviants and stuff like deviants and like the Eternals being like the angels to save the world and stuff like that and keep the planet safe. So I thought that was kind of unique. The suits look amazing. I thought the suits look cool. The power scales, everybody's power scale was kind of cool. I think everybody had, like I said before, everybody had moments to shine, but I think everybody's powers were unique and useful. I don't feel like there was one character who was like just there and you're like, okay, why do we need this guy? I think everybody had a moment to show why they are a part of this team and stuff like that, and why they all chosen together. So overall, I recommend this film to anybody who likes the MCU films. I think it's a film that it stands alone. You can watch it without watching any of the other MCU films and know what's going on. It stands on its own, but if you know everything else, it's like it doesn't really help you, I feel like, a lot. But I guess it's like the small little things here and there that you're like, okay. But it stands on its own. It doesn't try to lead you into too much of the future of the MCU. It doesn't try to lead you into what's happened at this point. Well, I guess in a way, kind of. But it's mostly its own thing. You know what I mean? I like that. So
yeah. For me, I think it's one of those things where like. Eternals, I didn't really have knowledge going into this movie, and I'm still kind of like trying to know more about them and know more about the whole Celestials and all that like everything that's taking place within that continuity of those characters and everything going on with them. So I think for younger audiences it might be a little hard to like understand or pick up because they probably won't understand it fully compared to got teens or young adults or just, anybody beyond kids that is watching it able to comprehend it. So for that reason, but I do think Chloe Zhao did a great job with visually, although there were some times where, I don't know, when I was watching it, I was like, okay, maybe the lighting could have been a little bit better here because it seemed a little too dark in this in certain scenes. But otherwise, I mean, it was great. I think the visuals, the action sequences were pretty good. You know, I actually came away really impressed with Chloe Zhao's, you know, her direction for this movie, and you know, it warms my heart knowing that she took inspiration from Zack Snyder's Man of Steel.
Oh man, Icarus was the guy, bro.
Icarus.
That was my favorite character today. What once he popped on screen for the first time, you see him in action, I'm like, that's the guy.
Yeah. He
stands out amongst everybody else.
He was one of the guys that I was really looking forward to when I was watching the trailer, because I was like, oh, okay, this guy gives me Superman vibes. I mean, you know, I'm a huge Superman fan, so he's the closest thing in Marvel that I know right now to Superman. And yeah, seeing him and seeing how Chloe Zhao used him in this movie, which it's one thing you have Icarus the character, and then you have a guy like Richard Madden, who, you know, he's a lovable guy. I loved him as Robb Stark in Game of Thrones, probably my favorite character in Game of Thrones. And seeing him play that character, it was a real standout for me. But yeah, man, Eternals, I came away really impressed by it. You know, and it's one of those things I didn't really listen to all the negativity or a lot of the reviews for it. I wanted to go see it for myself and see exactly what it was about, and I came away impressed. You know, I don't think it wasn't anything that I still think it could have been better, like, you know, as far as fully blowing my mind, you know, what I was expecting, but it still came out to be a solid, very solid movie. So for that, you know, I guess we'll go to ratings. If I had to give it a grade, I'll probably give it an A-.
I'm with that. I can go A- also.
Yeah.
I don't really have any complaints about the film, honestly. I enjoyed what I got. Because also, I went into it not knowing a lot, like DeAndre said, like, same with him. It's kind of like how Guardians of the Galaxy was. Like, I didn't know much about Guardians of the Galaxy, so when I watched it, it was like, oh, this is different, it's unique, I'm cool with it. Kind of much, you know, I think sometimes as Marvel fans or DC fans or just any kind of pop culture fan of anything that you've grown on or seen done in certain ways, and then you get a live action version of it or somebody tries to change it, it's just like, there's expectations you come into it with. And I think coming to this movie, I didn't really have many expectations. I just thought, okay, it looks. I know it's visually gonna be great, and I'm sure the story's gonna be dope. But I didn't really know much, so I guess expectations wise, I was very low on it. Not in a bad way, just low. Just like I didn't know much. So like seeing it was like, oh, it blew my mind. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I give it an A- as well.
Okay. Well, we actually agree for once.
By the time you got your head together.
Nah, it's about time you got your head together. But yeah, that'll be all, you guys. Let us know down below your thoughts on Marvel Studios Eternals. Did you enjoy it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Yeah. What was your favorite Eternal?
Richard Madden for Superman? Question mark.
Head ass. It's still Henry Cavill, goddammit. But if Henry Cavill can't do it, then yeah, Richard Madden wouldn't be terrible. Let us know down in the comment section below. I'm DeAndre.
I'm Javante.
And this is a Dre and J review. Deuces.